So, which top altcoins could actually make us rich if we're in store for an altcoin season? Which the general consensus in crypto is that we are. We still have a lot of top assets that haven't even come close to their all time highs. It's been a Bitcoin driven bull cycle. We're all waiting on altcoin season. And I talk about this all the time. It's important to have a Bitcoin strategy and an altcoin strategy, but it's also important to understand the type of market we're in and who's pushing the buttons, who's controlling this cryptocurrency market now. With the institution stepping in, with ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum already out, the big question is what's next? How should we invest? And I'm going to give you guys a lot of things to consider in this video. Of course, none of it's financial advice. I am invested across the board. If you guys are interested in seeing my entire crypto and stock portfolio, I offer that in our private membership through the Patreon, also providing exclusive content over there as well. So check out the link down below if you're interested in that. But you guys know we're here every day giving you a ton of value right here. But some things I can't share with everybody. I got to save for my private group. But let's get into it here because what I've got in store for you may shock you. Some of the data that we have. And there may be some very unassuming altcoins that I'm starting to get bullish on. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into the video. Appreciate everybody being here. And let's dive in. Let me share my screen with you guys. And I want to start on this screen right here. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is this? What's going on with this here? So what we've got pulled up here is a tweet from Eric Balkunas. And Jeff Seifert actually put this out not too long ago, James Seifert, rather, from Bloomberg, Eric Balkunas of Bloomberg as well. And what they're talking about here are the number of ETFs that have been filed since January 2024. And it's quite a bit here to dive into. But we'll go over it quickly. Take a look at this. Since early 2024, we've had 23 Solana ETFs filed, 23 Bitcoin, 20 XRP, 16 Ethereum, 10 basket ETFs. Now, of course, we already have Bitcoin, Ethereum. But look at this. XRP has 20 ETF filings. Solana has 23. Litecoin has 5. Avalanche, Dogecoin, Polkadot have 4 respectively. And then a bunch here with 3 ETFs filed. That's Say, HBAR, SWI, BNB, and Cardano. Then we got Near Protocol, Chainlink, Trump, Injective, Tron, BTC, and ETH, which means both of them are in there. Bonk, Hype, all have 2. And then a bunch of others with, at least 1 filed here. You got Atom, Crow, Axelar, Uniswap, Melania, which is hilarious. Aptos, Athena, Tau, BitTensor, Bitcoin Cash, OKB, Ondo, XLM, Pangu, and Aave. So really, really interesting, right? And the full link to the report, I mean, you guys could see here if you actually go over to the website here, it should actually link to Bloomberg. But these guys are legit. They have a pulse on what's going on from the ETF side of things. So that is 35 different digital assets that could easily end up seeing over 200 by the time we get into the next 12 months. This is coming from Balkunas. Total land rush, and this is the full list by coin. So that's what we're looking at right now. And if we're in an institutionally driven bull market, wouldn't it be smart to kind of try to front run where the institutional money could go next? And when we think about altcoins, I mean, it's all speculative. We're all just guessing here. It reminds me of the .com era when we're trying to, pin the tail on the donkey and get it right, But at the end of the day, in a speculative environment in which we're in crypto right now, these companies don't even have to be here forever to make a lot of money, right? They just have to be here for the ride. Now, some of these may have lasting impact, right? For me, Bitcoin is clearly here to stay. Ethereum, getting close. BNB, XRP, Solana, getting close, right? Dogecoin's been here almost as long as Bitcoin. So basically right around the same time frame. Litecoin, like some of these OGs that have just been here, chances are they're not going anywhere. So where could institutional money pour into next? I mean, I'm looking at XRP and Solana right here. Now, granted, These two have made some decent runs, but if you look at XRP, we're still down pretty significantly from previous all-time highs. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Previous all-time highs, we're still 39% away from that. And that's just our previous all-time high set back 8 years ago. So I think XRP is a phenomenal bet here just because we see the institutional demand. Same thing here with Solana. Solana's down 39% from its all-time high. Interesting that both XRP and Solana 39% down from their all-time highs. But I want to jump right down to Litecoin here. Litecoin's really fascinating because it's basically like Bitcoin. It's down 78% from its all-time high. It did have an all-time high back in 2021 of over $400. You're looking at an over 4x right now just to get back to all-time highs. And, if you zoom out on the alt chart on Litecoin, it's not sexy in terms of what it's done since, 2022 here. Nothing like to write home about, but it has slowly been kind of gaining some steam, kind of doing its thing along the way, right? Had an interesting jump up in 2019, had a nice run up in 2021, and Litecoin's just not going away. And if the institutions are going to come in here and try to control something, wouldn't you have to look at Litecoin, a top 20 crypto that's never gone down, that's basically all the same, setup as Bitcoin? To me, it makes a lot of sense. HBAR was on that list as well. AVAX, SWE. SWE's new kid on the block, but I like it a lot. I think the institutional adoption and, the big VC backing that it has, it's got to be one of those candidates. Same thing with HBAR. They've got partnerships with household names, right? And again, we're just looking at this from the lens of institutional bull market, institutional money in crypto, front running the institutions. The other thing you can kind of consider here, Chainlink as well is another one I love. Cardano is another one. I mean, it's way down 61 cents. It's kind of a laughing stock right now, but it's been around for a really long time. It doesn't go down. It's super secure. The institutions could find a way to utilize this. Now, the one area in which I've been fascinated with and been obviously super interested in for a long time is the RWA space. XRP should be on here. It's not. Ethereum should be on here. Honestly, it's not. And I do think Ethereum's still very undervalued. I wish, the folks over there at the ETH Foundation would stop selling Ethereum. I still hold a lot because I see the value in it. But, you look at some of these plays, Chainlink pushes blockchain-based compliance plan to the U.S. Treasury. I mean, they're making huge moves. They were a huge part of the conversation yesterday with the Federal Reserve. And they also called for a clear line between administrative access and financial service obligations. I don't think Chainlink's going anywhere, and I think it's severely undervalued here. Stellar XLM, same thing. VanEck filed for a Lido staked ETH ETF with the SEC. You've got Avalanche here, HBAR, Ondo Finance down below 70 cents right now, VeChain and Algorand. Anywhere from VeChain up here, I own all of them in varying degrees. Okay, I'm giving you a little freebie here. If you want to know how much I own of all this stuff and other assets that I own, we own a lot. Of course, you can come over and check us out at the Patreon. We'd love to have you over here. And, you could save 15% on annual memberships across the board. So great perks all across the board. We got a live call every Friday if you become a VIP tier. We do a Friday morning call. We're putting out exclusive video content for you. Tons of great stuff. So highly encourage you guys to check it out. But, if we're just looking not to take a ton of risk, there are a lot of assets in the top 50, top 60 that are within the RWA narrative that have ETFs filed that could be utilized as institutional gold mines in the future. It's just going to depend on selecting the right ones. And I don't think this is a market where you could just be blindfolded and throw a dart and somehow hit bullseye. It's got to be a measured approach. And I think that is what people aren't understanding right now and why people are getting frustrated. So it's all about constructing a winning portfolio. You're not going to win on every asset you own, right? But it is going to be crucial that you hit on a couple to outweigh some of the ones that don't fare as well. So that's where we're at right now. I appreciate you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. We're going to continue to make tons of videos, tons of content here for you. And I appreciate you all so much. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.